Good morning, folks. So, yesterday, while I was sitting at a customer, I ran into a brand new driver. And we had a discussion about the fact, what do you do if you have no power in your truck to run your CPAP machine? So, one of the things that I always carried on the truck is I always carried this little Jackery. This is a solar generator. Comes in a box. And it comes with all the cords and everything that you need, and a nice, you can see this is used in a nice little bag for your solar generator, right? Now, I used a Jackery. I also have a bigger one called a Pecron, which is 1500 watts. This one here is the smaller Jackery, and I believe it is 240 watt. Okay, but you notice it has a cigarette lighter plug. Okay, so if you're in a situation where you're broke down and you're in extreme weather, i.e. heat or cold, you can use this small little Jackery. Everything that I have here will run off of this small little Jackery. Always make sure you check the wattage on whatever you're going to be using, so that you get the proper size solar generator. But this is something that I always carried on the truck, and so I'm going to go over some of the things that I carried on the truck when I drove over the road, and I kept them on the truck because I used them, right? One is a little swamp cooler, right? You pour the water in the top, and it runs off of a battery, or you can plug it straight into your little generator and run it that way. Okay, so that was for AC. If you get out west in the summertime, it can be extremely hot, and you want something to use to kind of keep you cooled down a little bit if your truck breaks down. Now, another thing I carried a little heater. Again, I can run this little heater off of my small solar generator. It's not going to last forever, but it will give me some heat. Okay? And so I always carried that. I always had a little heater just in case. This right here is my go-to. Let me tell you what. I have 3 of these. As you can tell, this is pretty used. I got 3 of these. And I would carry 2 of these on the truck with me with aluminum foil. And basically, this is called a lunchbox cooker. If I can get it open. Okay, so it's a lunchbox cooker. You put the aluminum foil down in the bottom. You can also buy loaf pans to put in here. And you put your food in here and plug it in and close it up. And it normally takes about 30 minutes to 45 minutes to boil something. Okay, I used to cook a small roast with a couple of potatoes and carrots in there. And you know, I plug it in the morning time. By the time I got done for the day, it was ready to go. I have 2 of these, and I keep 1 in my go bag in my truck. This is for coffee in the morning, right? Takes about 15 minutes. It'll heat the water up to boiling. And this is just a thermos, a hot thermos, and it plugs into your cigarette lighter, okay? I always carried these on the truck when I drove over the road. Now, let's talk about some of the items that I carried on the truck for health. Of course, I have my first aid kit. Please, if you have an opportunity to go to Refuge Medical, look at their first aid kits. They are the best on the market. Okay, mine obviously is in my pickup truck, and I'm not gonna dig that out of my go bag because I'm just not gonna do it. Another thing I did was I carried, Band-Aids, Neosporin, Oragel for toothache, right? Imodium AD, right? Definitely Imodium AD. You're constantly going from state to state. You're going to have times when the change in water is going to cause you to have to have anti-diarrhea medicine. Another thing I carry with me every day is I carry a rag and antibiotic hand soap. So every time I go out there and I do something on the truck, I don't need any water. I can just take the hand soap, wash my hands, and wipe them off with a rag, right? So a couple good rags. Carried aspirin, Benadryl allergies. You can see this is open. I carry this with me everywhere because I'm allergic to bees. Emergency vitamin C drink in case I start to feel like I'm starting to catch something. This is really good to stop you and help you battle any type of cold that you might be having. Eardrops. Again, going in and out of the mountains down to below sea level, and the temperature change from state to state can cause you to get ear infection. So you want a good set of eardrops on the truck just to help, just in case you start to get an ear infection. Motrin, right? You know as well as I do that working on the truck, at the end of the day, you could have very sore muscles. So I carried Motrin. I am a woman that time of the month. Motrin, Bengay for sore muscles, right? And a good bar soap. Okay, now along with a good bar soap, I always carried like a little pan so that even if I couldn't get in to go take a shower, I could at least wash up with a good bar soap and a wash rag, right? But the other thing that you can get nowadays, and when I was driving over the road, this was not available. Antibiotic kit. Jase Medical. You can get an antibiotic kit that they will send to you, and it is an actual human antibiotic kit that you need to update every year. I will be updating this come the first of the year. But you never know when you're going to get like a tooth infection, an ear infection, a cut that gets infected, right? These need to be addressed immediately, right? In a shift situation, those simple things can take you out if it's not addressed, okay? So Jase Medical, definitely. And it comes with like 5 different antibiotics, a little booklet in it, and it's in a nice little case that you can just stick up in the cabinet in the sleeper berth, and if you need it, it's there. And it's legal. That's the other thing. A lot of the things that because it's prescribed to you, right? By your, you have to go and do like a telehealth appointment, and you have to fill in all the medications you take, right? And they'll send you a kit. Now, it's expensive, but everything that's here is completely legal to carry on the truck. Now, of course, along with that, you want to have, I say 90 days of your prescriptions. Whatever prescriptions you take, you need to carry 90 days of it on the truck. Reason being, you never know when you're going to be out for more than 2 or 3 weeks, right? So on top of all your food and your clothing and a good sleeping bag, a good pillow, and your tools, you need, some of these items are luxury items, yes, but I have found that in a situation where you're broke down on the side of the road, it's minus 30 degrees out, these things will save your life. A small little heater, a good sleeping bag, right? This will save your life. And so I found that these on a day-to-day basis were things that I used, right? But the conversation I had with him was, what do we do? And Aaron, I hope that you're doing well over at Swift, and I hope to run into you again someday. Was a very good conversation, and I really enjoyed it. Now, one of the things that Aaron was telling me was he has a CPAP machine, and when he got on the truck, the electrical wiring in the back of the truck did not work, right? The plugs didn't work. And you'll run into things like that. So you need to think about, okay, I got a flat tire, I'm stuck on the side of the highway, I can't idle the truck, because all the trucking companies now have the anti-idle, right? I can't run the truck. What do I do to keep cool or keep hot or keep heat? Just some basic things that I kept on the truck just in case, right? Now, obviously, the lunchbox cooker and the thermos, I use those every day for years, right? Obviously, you want to keep like baby wipes or man wipes or whatever you want to call them. You need to keep, some kind of wipes on the truck. But I found it was cheaper to use a rag and some antibiotic hand soap to do my day-to-day, cleaning my hands and just do it quick, because a lot of times you'll get stuck at a rest area and you're not able to take a shower, right? So that works great. You can actually wash your hair with it. But, it doesn't replace a shower, obviously. These medications that I'm talking about, like the Orajel, obviously this is just going to get you to where you can get somewhere to get help if you have a toothache, or if you've cut yourself. This is with the Neosporin. That's only to help you get to where you need to go. But that's what I got for you today. I mean, some people, they talk like they are preppers, but they don't walk the walk, right? And the people will say, well, I'm a trucker, right? But they have no clue about what actually happens out on the road and how hard it is for us truckers to actually get medical attention if we are requiring it. Okay, it's very difficult, right? And if you get a small infection or something, you need something to carry you over to get to see your doctor. right? Or your dentist when you get home. And these small items will work for that. Um, Obviously, this isn't everything I carried on the truck, but I had a little bag that I put all of this stuff in, and it was all there in one bag, and boom, on the truck it went, and I used it all the time. And in my opinion, Jackery is one of the better solar generators out there. Uh, and you can't go wrong with the Jackery. Pecron, Pecron, is another really good solar generator that I used, and it's heavy duty, you know. Unfortunately, with some of the other solar generators that are on the market, they're not designed to take a beating, right? They are designed to be like in a house and just set in the corner, and it doesn't get wet, it doesn't get extreme temperatures, it doesn't get jostled around. It's just, and as a truck driver, that's not going to work at all. So these are the ones I use, and hopefully that helps some of you newer drivers that are out there. You can cook quite a bit in this little lunchbox cooker. It's called a Road Pro, and it's a lunchbox cooker, and you can get them in the truck stops. You can order them on Amazon, and they work great. Okay, but they take a little bit longer to cook, but they work absolutely fantastic. So if you're like me and you don't have a lot of money and you want bang for your buck, that's bang for your buck right there. Okay, and the little thermoses, you can also get those at the truck stop. Be aware that those you need to make sure don't get bounced around too much, because if they get bounced around a lot, the heating element will break in them. So that's another thing with this little swamp cooler that I have here. If it gets bounced around too much, the little elements that are in it will break, and so it won't work anymore. So those two items need to be secured in the cabinet. And what I used to do is I used to put a towel or a t-shirt around them to make sure that they didn't get banged around too much. But it's little simple things like that that will save you money, because you're cooking in the truck. You're making your coffee in the truck instead of going into the truck stop, so you have your own coffee. I used instant coffee. And I never cooked the coffee directly in this thermos cooker. I always just heated up the water, and then use the water for like my hot cocoa, my teas, and my coffee, right? And the reason I say that is, if you cook in this thing, if you cook like tea or coffee in it, which you can do, but it's extremely hard to clean it. So it's just easier just to never do that, and just put just plain water in it. And yeah, so I hope that works, and I hope that helps somebody who is new to not only trucking but prepping, and just common things that you really need to keep with you. Because you don't know if the truck stop down the road is going to have it, or how long you're going to be out on the road, right? Because I'll be honest with you, when I went out on the road, I went out for 6 months at a time. And I might come home for a day, and I was right back at it, right? So, yeah, that's what I got for you this morning. And I hope that helps somebody. Bicycle.